Good times, there's gonna be good times, good times. I know there's gonna be
work every day till we meet ends. I fi turn it up on the weekends. Bust a toast to your real friend. Tell me what you're drinking.
I didn't even know if that did anything.
Nah, it doesn't. But that's all good.
Just pressing buttons, eh? But welcome back here on Good Times Club. This is like episode 5 now, and the new setup. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. We just moved it around today, as you can see on camera. Yeah, no, it's pretty good, eh?
Congrats, bro. You've caught up to have a look.
Oh no. Well, have a look. Hey, it's all good, bro. We're all here for a good cause, mate. But nah, we're on. So yeah, just wanted to jump on, and no guest on the potty this week. You're a guest. But hey.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, nah, we'll go see you later. But yeah, we were gonna get a few people on, but they're a bit busy. So here we are, just gonna do our own one. I'm probably squinting hard out right now because the sun's in my eyes. But the new potty setup is good. Yeah, I just can't really see much right now. But no, we're going to jump on and talk about work-life balance and routines.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's what we're talking about.
Shit.
I did actually say really before, cool. But you didn't listen to me. So.
I did. You were just rattling off some podcast ideas you got given on.
Yeah, that's what I said we were doing.
Okay.
You know? As you can probably tell, we're quite raw, we're quite genuine here. None of this 100 weeks to plan something. You just come up with it and you talk about it from the heart. Yeah, what's a plan? But
planning.
Talking about plans though, work-life balance and routine. So obviously it's a new month right now. I've actually been saying to everyone for the past month, I'm not going to drink. I'm giving up alcohol. But yeah, I didn't really give it up. Had a few wee benders in between. Keep them a bit quiet. Every week since, bro. Actually, I was telling everyone, no, I don't drink alcohol. They're like, oh, good on you, bro. And then, Friday rolls around, Saturday rolls around. Someone cracks a beer open, or
when we did can of hole, you're like, I'm not drinking. Bro. And then we got to hole 2, and you're like, oh, nah, fuck it, I'll just drink.
I know, can of hole. Literally drove my car to town so that I was like, I'm not gonna drink anymore. And then I drove my car all the way home to Tauranga and got an Uber back just so I could drink.
Bro.
Dedication. But anyway, to the side. Throw that to the side. But yeah, so I guess this idea kind of stemmed from this whole work-life balance thing because, yeah, I guess the drinking and the partying and stuff, it's all good to celebrate and have fun, but I think now, I've got a lot of shit going on in my life where I need to focus and mentally I was kind of drifting off a bit. So I guess eliminating alcohol for this month is one of those things to knuckle down and dive deep and, generate some new ideas for things that I want to do. Bro, what are you laughing at?
Nothing.
I can promise you, bro, it's going to get to Saturday. Someone's going to offer me a drink. I'm going to be like, nah, bro, this is my month.
You're going to be like,
my body is a temple. I'm twisted as But nah, so yeah, gonna go hard for the month. I just want to look better, get in better shape as well, get more fit, get more sleep in, because obviously we talk about mental health on here, and that's probably one of the biggest things for me as well. Is I can feel when I'm slipping and when I'm gonna tip, and that's what's been happening. Because going out on the weekends is fun and it's a quick little fix, but roll around Monday, I feel like shit, eh? I'm the lowest I feel. I've got no energy. I'm not sleeping properly.
Slows your week down, bro. It actually does.
It slows it down.
If you get pissed on a Saturday, and you feel average on Sunday, Monday you're still lethargic, so you don't get through what you need to get done. Then you try and get it done on Tuesday, you don't get Tuesday shit done. So Wednesday's a hassle, and then you just overload yourself. 100% reckon. When you're on the piss, it definitely has a back effect the following week.
Definitely does, eh? And then I think, obviously, off the back of that, because we are Good Times Club, I think the overarching question here, given that is work-life balance, is how do we keep those good times in check? Like, so how do we still have a good time and still get the shit done that we need to? Is probably the big question here. So, I guess, do you want to go first?
Everything in moderation, bro.
Yeah.
I reckon. Like,
Definitely.
literally anything. Like, too much work's not good for you. The same as too much getting on the piss isn't good for you. Like, you got to enjoy the good things in life, but you also got to keep it in check if you want to achieve the goals you want to achieve.
I feel like even the fun things as well, you know, like, it doesn't just have to be alcohol. But yeah, definitely, like, everything in moderation. So this month, like, what I've been trying to do is I'm trying to exercise for like 45 minutes every day. And, you know, for some, they might think, you know, 45 minutes isn't that long, but you add 45 minutes up over how many days this month? 30, 31, something like that. What's that? So go say 45 times 30. It's like 22 and a half hours of exercise over 30 days, which is a lot. So that consistency adds up. And I guess, yeah, for me, like, I know exercise is a huge benefit and it helps clear my mind. You know, you release like all these endorphins into your body, you know, spit out the bad stuff as well, and it just clears your mind. And it's like also a bit of a break from everything else going on. So I think that's one of them. Watching my diet as well is probably another big one. Obviously, yeah, the no alcohol now, like being able to sleep better. So I try to go to bed now a lot earlier, and I've been journaling as well every day, which has been cool. And I think that also ties back into that idea. So I have a thing in my journal, like I was listening to Jay Shetty talk about it. So I have 3 different like areas, and one of them is like something I'm certain about, something I'm uncertain about, and then another thing I've learned from that. So it's only 3 things. It takes like 5 minutes to jot down, but obviously when you like run your own business or have your own thing that you're doing, generally like my ideas always stem back to what am I doing to make myself better, to get more work, to generate new ideas, new opportunities, and they all stem back to that. So I think last night was something I was certain about was that I have a better understanding of when I am slipping or when I'm falling behind. So I need to monitor that better and control my emotions in a better way. And then like I knew what was happening. So I guess the result of that was like, oh, well, it's a new month, like fresh start. You didn't do it last month, let's do it this month, which is mean. And it's actually been working. Like I've only spent 2 days journaling, but at night, bro, when I jump into bed, I can't wait to do it because it actually clears my mind. And then, you know, something I'm uncertain about was, like, we're pretty honest on this podcast. Like something I was uncertain about was, like, I don't know financially where I'm going to sit. Like, obviously I have stuff put away because I've been in a position before where I had nothing. So I was a lot more careful this time around. Obviously have a bit put away. But then I'm uncertain. Oh, I think, what did I put? I was like, I sense that I'm uncertain about different financial opportunities. But then obviously relating back to what was certain was that I could feel myself slipping. So if I'm in a low energy point and then trying to balance out my work and my life, if my energy is already low, I can't put the effort into my work that I need to. And that doesn't necessarily mean like here in this position at work. Like work in general is like the effort you're putting into anything, like the actual physical work that you're doing. So for me, that was like something I was uncertain about. And then something I've learned from that, or what I was learning was that I need to monitor myself better, and I need to learn to trust myself more in the darker situations and in the lighter situations to find the balance between where I can sit and operate at a level where I'm not comfortable, but where I'm still challenged, but I'm also learning, I'm not overloading my mind. So yeah, that was probably what I've been doing at the moment, and balancing out this whole work and life thing, because it's probably the same for you, bro. Like when you work for yourself, everyone thinks it's peaches and cream on top, but it's actually chaos, bro, behind closed doors. Like there's so much that goes on, and people don't even realize it, like financially, mentally, physically.
Yeah, well, I think the reason that not everybody does is because it's fucking hard, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's literally why. And a lot of people that try and do it and stop doing it will tell you that it's fucking hard to do. But going back to like what you said around like life work balance and how you try and balance those things, I found that like planning and like more systems in place helps you take the load off you mentally. Like it takes the thinking away for a lot of things. So like, for example, you may go into work on a certain day, on a Monday. Let's relate it back to the first thing you said. Let's say you were on the piss on Saturday night and you went into work on Monday morning, you're working for yourself, you come into the office, you're like, shit, okay, I've got a podcast to edit. I've also got to find a podcast guest for this week. I've got a vlog that I have to get some footage for. I've got to get the order in by this time, and I've got to send my emails. And you start overloading yourself, and you're like, shit. What? Whereas the week before, I use my Apple Calendar. You calendared out your blocks like. For the morning, I'm going to reply to all emails that I need to. For an hour between 9 and 10 o'clock, I'm going to edit and I'm going to upload my podcast. And by putting those systems in place, it takes your thinking away and it takes the stress away. And it helps you to just, especially when you're not because you're not always going to be in the mood and in the right headspace to come in and be like, fuck yeah, I'm going to kill it today.
To go away.
That stuff helps you with that stuff, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. I think you're right there as well, because that's what happens a lot. And I'd say even for people listening that don't run their own business, like even if you do work for someone or even if you're studying as well, like that whole work-life balance, I think blocking out stuff is a very good way to manage your time. For example, I try to dedicate a certain amount of time each day or a certain aspect of my life into learning something new. And that could be for you, I guess, if you're studying or you want to learn something new, like block out that time so then you can give yourself no distractions to do it. And I think people over exaggerate a bit and they're like, oh, I need to go hard for like 3 hours, 4 hours or a certain amount of time. Even start small, like 15 minutes and then 30 minutes. And we were chatting about it yesterday. Like your attention span runs in blocks as well. It's like 25, 55, 90 minutes is where you gain certain attention. But for me, like if I try to learn something new each day, I'll make sure that I can do it in a way where it's easy. So podcasting is a great example. I listen to a lot of podcasts, as probably you do as well.
I was going to say that, like something that I reckon a lot of people will push themselves when they go to, say like you do a challenge or whatever and it says like read a book or read 10 pages a day, say for example, but you're not a reader and it's not something that like, it bores you very easily or something like that. Stop forcing yourself to do the stuff that's not going to help you and start working on shit that suits you. For example, you might love listening to podcasts and you can get the same as good information out of podcasts and learn a lot from podcasts. You just might not be a person that likes to read. So understanding that and knowing that you don't have to push yourself to like, oh, okay, I hate reading, but I'm going to sit here and I'll lose focus because I don't like reading. I'm not a reader, so I'll just jam my headphones in and I'll listen to a podcast instead.
Yeah, or audiobooks, eh?
Audiobooks, 100%. Just understanding yourself, eh?
Yeah, I know a lot of people like, talking of the challenge as well, I know a lot of people will say you can't listen to an audiobook, but I guess if that's how you retain your information or if it makes it easier for you, then do that. And especially if you do have a busy life and a busy work as well, it can be hard to try to fit things in. So make it suit your environment is probably another thing I'd say into balancing out this whole work and life situation. For example, like, I drive over here, the drive's 45, 55 minutes depending on the traffic. I know that I can fit in 3/4 of a podcast or a whole podcast if it's shorter. So that's my information done. Like if you're driving, you could listen to an audiobook and it almost becomes autonomous in a way because you're not really having to put in a huge amount of effort, but the reward you're getting out of it is actually super beneficial. And then, you're learning information that you might not want to. Like if you have to sit down and do it and you're not keen on it, do it and habit stack that task in a way where you're already in a situation that's easy to. Like there's not much you can really do in a car. I mean, a lot of people go on their phones when they're driving. You're not meant to, but like there's a lot of people that do it, but put on the audiobook, put on the podcast if that's your thing. Even if you don't want to, like giving yourself an hour to just listen to nothing and relax is still good. Like it's still a form, like chat to yourself, understand your mind, get better with understanding the situations that are going on.
I barely listen to music anymore, eh? Like, to be honest. Like, don't get me wrong, I love music, but like every time I'm in the car and I'm driving, or I'm always listening to a podcast, bro. Always. Like, not always learning off it. Like, I just find it like entertaining, eh? Like Joe Rogan at the moment, I'm just like on everything Joe Rogan for me at the moment. Like, just listening to how, for me, because obviously we're doing podcasts, so like in a way it's sort of learning, but how he conversates and like how he talks and stuff. And just like, I think I've noticed that when I'm talking in podcasts and that, I subtly do things that I'm learning off him without thinking about it because I've been listening to him so much. So it's almost dangerous in a way. You don't want to listen to something too much where like you become, where you become them and you're doing what they're doing. But yeah, I don't know. That's a simple way to put, like, every time I'm driving, I'm listening to something and it's actually helping me in terms of my podcast skills because I'm listening to what he's doing.
That's funny you mentioned that because the podcast I listened to this morning was from he's like a neuroscientist, and he studies the brain in different ways and whatnot, and they spoke about that. So you will listen to someone or you attach your like different emotions to them, so your brain's creating these chemical reactions, and then what happens is because you've created like a positive reaction to it, you might have picked up and you're like, oh, okay, I can relate myself to them because I have something similar. And then automatically your brain starts to think, like say we're podcasting, you do the whole Joe Rogan thing, like writing it down on paper. And that's like your brain because it's already thought about that process from you watching him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so buzzy. But that's what I mean. Like our brain just subconsciously will pick up on these things. You might not even know it. Like I've learned so much from podcasting. And you probably noticed just before when Carlos was talking, like I didn't speak over the top of him, and we're not wearing headphones, so it's way easier to do that too. But I listen to Jay Shetty when he podcasts, and he'll take like a breath. He won't say like or when he's uncertain of something. He'll just take a breath or take a break.
That's so much harder than it looks. See, look at that. Like, it's so easy to do.
Yeah, it is really hard, but he'll just recollect his thoughts and he'll pause for a bit. But then also, it keeps people more engaged, and that's pretty cool doing that. But I think, jumping back into that whole work-life balance thing, I'd say what if we touch on like routines, learning about what's working, what's not working for you. Journaling as well is a huge thing. Finding like where you can get new information from is super important. And I'd say also another big one is if you're in situations where like you're exhausting yourself, and I know this happens for a lot of people at work, like if there's too much pressure put on you, like it is good to be under pressure, but if it's affecting something that's more important, like if there's a task that you believe you need to get done first and you need to prioritize that, like be clear with whoever is delegating that to you, or if that's your own self as well. Like we have a task sheet here, I don't know what the actual name for it is, but we prioritize our things that we need to get done. Yeah, the daily planner, pretty much. We prioritize them between A, B, or C. Obviously, A is our priority. B is still important. C can be done today if we need to, but it can wait until another day. And that's a good thing as well. Like if you have stuff you need to get done, if there's something else thrown at you and it's actually not that important, try come up with a solution and actually talk about it with someone and be like, hey, look, I don't think this task is super important right now. I'll be spending too much time on it and it will stop me from getting task whatever on the side. It will stop me from getting it done when it needs to be. And that's another thing as well. Because then you kind of put too much pressure on yourself, which is good, but in turn you don't get the stuff done and you actually end up halting it because obviously we know what happens. Like you get stressed out, your brain can't comprehend with the overload of information. And then, you actually end up wasting way more time in the long run. Like it's better to just be clear and say, hey, look, I think we can do this at another time. Even with people, like you probably know this as well. Like your time is important too, trying to balance out everything. And yeah, I guess probably chat about that. Obviously, you're quite busy now, and a lot of people want to catch up with you or go do stuff. So
I reckon you like when you get to a certain point where I think I put it the way I would say it is you place more value on your time.
yeah,
Like, because you're always so busy and you've only got a certain amount of hours in a day to finish everything. One thing that frustrates me, this isn't really to do with work-life balance, but one thing that frustrates me is people being late to things that, like that you guys have planned or anything like. And it could be like you go into breakfast and they turn up 30 minutes late or that sort of thing. And then consistently that pisses me off even more.
yeah,
Only because it feels like it's like I've heard this on a podcast before, but it's so true. It feels like you're not respecting my time. You know what I mean? Like it's like my time doesn't mean anything to you. Like you can turn up when you want, and my 30 minutes that I just spent waiting for you doesn't actually mean anything to you. So like that frustrates me. That always makes me never want to be late to anything because I respect other people's time. Like I respect that someone's made an effort to come to a place with me at a certain time. I will make it there on that time because I place emphasis and respect on their time as well.
yeah. That's true. And like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm horrible sometimes with time. Like I need to monitor it more. I notice when I wear my watch, my time management is way better because I attach it to. I know my time management can get away on me sometimes. So if I wear my watch, I know I'm always double checking. I'm like, all right, I've got half an hour. I've got like 20 minutes. Boom. Even setting times for when you need to leave to stuff, because like if you have a smartwatch, it's good because you check it and it'll tell you it's like you need to leave now to get there in this time. Your phone can do the same, but I feel like sometimes your phone you can get distracted as well.
Here's the thing, when there's something that when you need to get there, you'll make it there on time, and that's because it's important to you and you know that you have to get there. So you'll make systems and you'll make sure that you set your alarm 10 minutes early so you can get up and leave at this time. You'll always make sure so you get there on time. When it's something that doesn't matter as much to you, then you'll just be a little bit more loose about it. So it's not like you can't get there and you don't have the ability to get there on time. It's just that some things matter more to you and some things don't, which is fine. But like when you're on the other end of it, you're like, someone that doesn't have a lot of time, for example, and they've made an effort to do all this stuff and get there on time. They made the effort to get there on time for you. Like you got to make the effort to get there on time for them.
Yeah, 100%. I get that. That's so true.
If it's a doctor's appointment, you'll get there on time, bro. Yeah, there's the odd time where you'll be late, like due to unforeseen, traffic really bad. There might be an accident. You might miss your appointment. Like that might be But like other than that, bro, you'd get there on time.
Yeah, you need to get there on time. I think as well, like there was something I learned really well being up in Auckland, like working in film and television, is that in that industry, because time is so precious. Like there's an old saying, and for them it's like if you turn up on time, you're late.
Yep.
Because you turn up on the dot. It's like everyone's like, but like I get paid from that time, blah blah blah. But it's just a sign like you should show up earlier and like you need to be prepared because there's always things that can change. Like scenes might get flipped around. You might have a different run of scenes for the day, and then the actors or whatever or your crew when you'll need it to set up might need more time and vice versa. So I think that's another one as well. It's like being conscientious of your time and making sure that like your balance in between that is equal to those who are giving you that same energy, especially if there's opportunities that people are trying to give to you and like you're mucking them around. That's also a big waste of someone's time.
Agreed.
But yeah, I think that's kind of most of what we wanted to touch on. Like, I don't have too much more to chat around that whole work-life balance. I feel like it does come down to the individual a lot and how you can navigate through like what works, what doesn't work for you. But there is that general structure, what we chatted about, and different things that work and different things that don't work. But like your basics of sleep is like a big one because you don't get enough of it. Like your energy is going to be low. Like monitoring your feelings and stuff, even writing them down to help recollect your thoughts. But
yeah, I think if you can do something that you love doing every day, it doesn't feel like work, and that's a really good thing because you can go to work and you're enjoying yourself, and it doesn't actually feel like you have to go to work. So a bad side to that is this work-life balance thing can get thrown off, and your life takes a hit because of your work feels so good. And I'm guilty of this, bro. And it's, been a big catalyst in a failed relationship for me is my time spent on the business because I loved it so much, because I was so involved in wanting to grow it. You stop giving time and energy to the other important things in your life. Even though you don't notice that you're doing it, you do it without thinking. And so my biggest advice would be, if you're doing something that you love doing and you're doing that every day for a living, that's fucking awesome, first of all. But second of all, make sure you still place emphasis and importance on spending time in other areas of your life that are important to you, and making sure that they get that time, because it is work and it is fun, but it's not everything. You got your family, you got, like me, you got your kid, your child, your children. They need that time reciprocated as well. So making sure you get that balance, all right.
Yeah, I think actually touching on that before we wrap up, that's like perfect. You've hit the nail on the head there. Because when I used to live with my uncle up in Auckland, he was the same. My auntie had like a chat to him about it. He's the CEO of quite a large company up in Auckland. Like they're a big global company. And he said to me, he's like, I sat down with her, had a chat, and he was really guilty of going home and letting work affect him at home, chatting about work and stressing out. And I think that's one thing too, is like, if you can, try keep work for the time where work is needed, and personal time is your personal time, when you spend time with yourself, your family, your friends, doing stuff you enjoy, like to fill that cup back up. And that's what he spoke about as well. He's like, I get home and I'm me when I get home. I don't want to bring work home with me anymore.
Sure.
Because it does affect you quite a bit. And, I'm guilty of it sometimes. I'll let work affect me at home a lot when it doesn't actually matter in the end. It's not as important as it should be. Like if you're at home, you should be spending time on yourself or with your family, or, try to find something that you can relax to, or doing something that you love. And that was real cool with him, is because I seen how positive his emotions were after that change. And I'd say, like, they're probably going to listen to this, but my mum is the same. Like, she'll come home, bro, and they chat about work for ages, bro. And I get, like, they have really stressful jobs and they have so much going on, and that's kind of the world they're in. But for me, like, it's kind of yuck to be around sometimes, because it's all you really hear. Yeah. And it's like, just try park it, like, leave work at work.
Yeah. That's one of the main reasons why I first ever went into an office and try to find an office space, because before that I was working from home, and so the lines get blurred very, very easily. Like you're working off the couch, and you're working, you're working in the area in the space that you live in. So you'll be sitting there watching a movie, without even thinking, you'll grab your laptop and you'll just start working, because that's habit. That's what you do in this space. So that was a massive reason, I think, massive catalyst as well for me. So another piece of advice: when you can and when you can afford to, find a space for work, and leave work at work. Like you said, I leave my laptop here now. Like, I don't take it home, so I know when I go home, it's like about my son and about my family. Like that's all. And obviously, you got to make calls, and there's times you got to still be on call. But that's being a business owner. Like, you have to have that. But as much as you can, park what you can at work, and then go home, and that's your home life. Yeah,
even if you are at home, like, just try dedicate a space for work and a time where that's where work is done.
Yeah.
And, like, try not to enter into that space out of it. Like, I edit out of my bedroom. I'm working from home quite a bit as well. But I used to be real bad and leave my computer on, and the same, like, check emails or worry about it, do work late at night, like work until early hours of the morning. And it's good to put the effort in, but it actually builds up and up and up on you. And then before you know it, you end up burning out. So you get way more done when you dedicate the time to it and when you can separate and actually have that personal time, because it's that balance. Like that's what we're chatting about.
You think that you're working 15 hours in a day compared to like 3 hours in a day but organized. You think you're working so much more, but you're actually not. You're just
not at all.
You're just dragging out what could be done in 3 hours. So that comes back down to the planning thing. Like make sure you're planning and organized so you can get the stuff you need to get done, and then you can move away from that. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah,
like it is good to grind, but you know, one day of grinding for all day long and burning yourself out and not getting anything done in the rest of the week isn't as good as doing a little bit, 100% focus each day, because the consistency is actually what's more important.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I feel like you have to go through that to understand what it's like. I feel like everyone that learns that went through the grind thing and realized after a while, like I remember I used to listen to podcasts that like work smarter, not harder, and I was like, bullshit, bro. Like I'm out here working till like midnight, like, and I'm getting the work done. And then now I'm like, bro, I'll probably get the same amount of work done in like 4 hours as I would have done in like 12 hours. Like, but I was just naive, silly, like thought I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm working hard, I'm working for long hours and shit like that. But everyone learns eventually.
You find the balance, eh?
Yeah.
But I think we've pretty much covered most of it. I don't want to drag it on for too long because I know you've got to shoot off to your training.
Yeah, speaking of being on time and respecting other people's time.
100%, bro. I was being very conscious there. But
gonna have to cut it there, me old mate.
But yeah, I think that's a good one, though. That is episode 5, done and dusted on Good Times Club. So yeah, we hopefully will have a guest on next week. I was meant to have Uncle Jack was coming on, if you know him. He was keen. But I didn't even realise he's down in Queenstown at the moment.
Oh.
But yeah, so hopefully he'll be on next. But we've got a list of people now we're going through, so stay tuned for who will get on. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.
That was a good impromptu episode.
Good impromptu. We'll just play this little ending for you. But yeah, catch you later.
Good time, it's gonna be some good times.